Hello from Up Ministries. It's me, Dick Jr. Adjust the camera again. I'm going to come to today. I'm reading you Daniel chapter 11. It's a long one. I didn't take a lot of references, or any references for that matter. And there are some things that I have circled. But concerning this chapter, I'm just not going to get into it too much. Just that this is very important stuff to read concerning the end. If you're concerned about the end and you're reading Revelation, you're missing a lot of things that you could be gaining by reading other books like Daniel. Okay, and Daniel chapter 11 is one of those books. It talks a lot about what the possible leaders at the end of times could be like. Okay, and it's in association with Daniel chapter 10, which we read last week, and it talked about the princes of Persia. And it was talking about one thing, but it's also talking about the end of times. Okay, so anyways, that's what we're going to do today, Daniel chapter 11. I have already prayed, asked God to help me speak to you today and read to you, and I suggest that anytime you place yourself in God's Word, that you also ask Him to help you with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay, and He will, and that's His promise, not mine. Okay, I'm just going to pretty much read this one straight through, though, because it's lengthy. It's like 1, 2, 3.5 pages, give or take, full Bible pages. So let's get to it. In the first year of Darius the Mede, I arose to be an encouragement and a protection for him. And now I will tell you the truth. Behold, 3 more kings are going to arise in Persia. Then a 4th will gain far more riches. And of them all, as soon as he becomes strong through his riches, he will arouse the whole empire against the realm of Greece. And a mighty king will arise, and he will rule with great authority and do as he pleases. But as soon as he has arisen, his kingdom will be broken up and parceled out toward the 4 points of the compass, though not to his own descendants, nor according to his authority which he wielded. For his sovereignty will be uprooted and given to others besides them. Then the king of the south will grow strong, along with one of his princes, who will gain ascendancy over him and obtain dominion. His dominion will be a great dominion indeed. After some years, they will form an alliance with the daughter of the king of the south, will come to the king of the north to carry out a peaceful arrangement. But she will not retain her position of power, nor will he remain with his power, but she will be given up along with those who brought her in, and the one who sired her, as well as he who supported her in those times. But one of the descendants of her line will arise in his place, and he will come against their army and enter the fortress of the king of the north, and he will deal with them and display great strength. Also their gods with their metal images and their precious vessels of silver and gold he will take into captivity to Egypt. And he, on his part, will refrain from attacking the king of the north for many years. Then the latter will enter the realm of the king of the south, but will return to his own land. His sons will mobilize and assemble a multitude of great forces. One of them will keep on coming and overflowing and pass through, that they may again wage war up to his very fortress. The king of the south will be enraged and go forth and fight with the king of the north. Then the latter will raise a great multitude, but that multitude will be given into the hand of the former. When the multitude is carried away, his heart will be lifted up, and he will cause tens of thousands to fall. Yet he will not prevail, for the king of the north will again raise a greater multitude than the former, and after an interval of so many years, he will press on with a great army and much equipment. Now in those times many will rise up against the king of the south, and the violent ones among your people will also lift themselves up in order to fulfill the vision, but they will fall down. Then the king of the north will come up, cast a siege ramp, and capture a well-fortified city. And the forces of the south will not stand their ground, not even their choicest troops, for there will be no strength to make a stand. But he who comes against him will do as he pleases, and no one will be able to withstand him. He will also stay for a time in the beautiful land with destruction in his hand. He will set his face to come with the power of the whole kingdom, bringing with him a proposal of peace, which he will put into effect. He will also give him the daughter of women to ruin it, but she will not take a stand for him or be on his side. Then he will turn his face to the coastlands and capture many, but a commander will put a stop to his scorn against him. Moreover, he will repay him for his scorn. So he will turn his face towards the fortresses of his own land, but he will stumble and fall and be found no more. Then in his place one will arise, who will send an oppressor to the jewel of his kingdom. Yet within a few days he will be shattered, though not in anger nor in battle. In his place a despicable person will arise, on whom the honor of kingship has not been conferred, but he will come in a time of tranquility and seize the kingdom by intrigue. The overflowing forces will be flooded away before him and shattered, and also the prince of the covenant. After an alliance is made with him, he will practice deception and will go up and gain power with a small force of people. In a time of tranquility, he will enter the richest parts of the realm, and he will accomplish what his fathers never did, nor his ancestors. He will distribute plunder, booty, and possessions among them, and he will devise his schemes against strongholds, but only for a time. He will stir up his strength and courage against the kings of the south with a large army, so the king of the south will mobilize an extremely large and mighty army for war, but he will not stand, for schemes will be devised against him. Those who eat his choice food will destroy him, and his army will overflow, but many will fall down slain. As for both kings, their hearts will be intent on evil, and they will speak lies to each other at the same table, but it will not succeed, for the end is still to come at the appointed time. And I circled that right there. The end is still to come at the appointed time. And that little statement right there, even though you're reading about something, tells you that it also has to do with other times, like these times or possibly the end of times. Then he will return to his land with much plunder, but his heart will be set against the holy covenant, and he will take action and then return to his own land. At the appointed time he will return and come into the south, but at this time it will not turn out the way it did before, for ships of Kittim will come against him. Therefore he will be disheartened and will return and become enraged at the holy covenant and take action. So he will come back and show regard for those who forsake the holy covenant. Forces from him will arise, desecrate the sanctuary fortress, and do away with the regular sacrifice, and they will set up the abomination of desolation. By smooth words he will turn to godlessness those who act wickedly toward the covenant, but the people who know their God will display strength and take action. Those who have insight among the people will give understanding to many, yet they will fall by sword and by flame, by captivity and by plunder for many days. Now when they fall, they will be granted a little help, and many will join with them in hypocrisy. Some of those who have insight will fall in order to refine, purge, and make them pure until the end time, because it is still to come at the appointed time. Then the king will do as he pleases, and he will exalt and magnify himself above every god, and will speak monstrous things against the God of gods, and he will prosper until the indignation is finished, for that which is decreed will be done. He will show no regard for the gods of his fathers, or for the desire of women, nor will he show regard for any other god, for he will magnify himself above them all. But instead he will honor a god of fortresses, a god whom his fathers did not know. He will honor him with gold, silver, and costly stones and treasures. He will take action against the strongest of fortresses with the help of a foreign god. He will give great honor to those who acknowledge him, and will cause them to rule over the many, and will parcel out land for a price. At the end of time, the king of the south will collide with him, and the king of the north will storm against him with chariots, with horsemen, and with many ships. And he will enter countries, overflow them, and pass through. He will also enter the beautiful land, and many countries will fall. But these will be rescued out of his hand, Edom, Moab, and the foremost of the sons of Ammon. Then he will stretch out his hand against other countries, and the land of Egypt will not escape. But he will gain control over the hidden treasures of gold and silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt. And Libyans and Ethiopians will follow at his heels. But rumors from the east and from the north will disturb him, and he will go forth with great wrath to destroy and annihilate many. He will pitch the tents of his royal pavilion between the seas and the beautiful holy mountain. Yet he will come to his end, and no one will help him. And that is Daniel chapter 11. Like I said, it was lengthy, and that was pretty much just a straight read through. I did circle abomination of desolations in verse 31. By smooth words he will turn. That's verse 32. Verse 35, some of those who have insight will fall in order to refine, purge, and make pure until the end of time, because it is still to come at the appointed time. I don't know what that's about, but I circled it. And then many will go... No, that's chapter 12. I'm not going to chapter 12 yet. So that's all I have for Daniel chapter 11. I'm just going to make it a straight read through. And verse 27, I circled, the end is still to come at the appointed time. And no matter what we do, that's the fact. Okay? That is the fact. That the end is still to come at the appointed time, regardless of what we do. You know, the end is still to come at the appointed time. See what I mean? Oh yeah, did I mention the end is still to come at the appointed time? All right. Thanks for watching. God bless.